This is something highly specific. Stuff in my mind. In his mind.
That's why I'm bringing it back, that's why I'm flinging a track like the swinging it back. That's why I'm bringing it back, that's why I'm flinging it in the axe.
That's why I'm bringing it back, that's why I'm flinging a track like the swinging it back. That's why I'm bringing it back, back.
That's why I'm bringing it back, that's why I'm flinging a track like the swinging it back. That's why I'm bringing it back, that's why I'm flinging it in the axe.
Oh shit. I'm recording now. You want to come up here? I'm recording it right now. Yeah.
Face cam.
Yeah. Hello guys.
Hi guys. I'm not allowed like anywhere near school.
Hello guys, and welcome to the stream.
This is my game.
Oh, shut the fuck up! Or the video, cause I'll upload this as a video too. We got a special guest here.
What's up, y'all?
Yeah, say hi to everyone. We
My
got.
name is Glendale Game.
Okay, so in this stream, I'm just gonna explain the game to y'all because most of y'all are probably very confused, even more so confused because this motherfucker's in the back talking about some whatever the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
But I'll just be explaining the whole game to y'all. New players, old players, you guys are probably both equally confused. I'm not gonna lie. Originally in the recording, I said old players, you're probably not as confused. But you guys are probably just as confused. Anyway, I will be explaining everything that you gotta know to get yourself started in MME in this video. We'll have some special guests appearing too, some voiceovers from my devs, my community manager. Thank you guys. Remember, thank you to all testers, staff who helped make this game possible. And of course, thank you to this guy right here for making this stream possible.
Yeah.
Hell
got
yeah,
you.
type shit.
Anytime, bro.
Anyway, getting started, if you have seen anything in the server, if you're not living under a rock, then you know the game is a murder mystery based off an MMX, believe it or not. This game was based off an MMX, and over time, it has evolved into something much more than that. Oh yeah. I'm really proud of what I've created right here, so it plays like a normal murder mystery, of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sheriff, murderer, innocence.
Type shit.
You know, you get the gist of it. Simple gameplay, but there's a lot more to it than just that. Let me get started with a couple of the features. I'm going to go in order of how the UIs are set up, and then I'll get to some of the extra stuff. So firstly, in the game, you're going to see 4 buttons, actually 5 because there's a Game Pass shop, but we don't talk about that one. You're going to see 5 buttons on your screen. Now this first one here, it says Game Pass shop. Pretty self-explanatory. The second button is the home button. This is just to navigate the UIs easier because there are so many things to go through in the game now that I just thought this would be convenient instead of having like a ton of buttons. Who the fuck keeps pinging me? Anyway, the home button, which gives you a whole other list of UIs, which I will go through momentarily. Starting off, you got the index UI. This shows every single item in the game. And as I add more events, it will also have more events too. So you'll be able to see every single item in the game. And later on down the line, I might add a feature where you could view all of them without them being blacked out. Because currently, the index will black out the items if you don't own them. But if you own them, it won't black them out. But you can still view the values and such of the items and all their info, even if you don't have the items. So don't worry about that. Secondly, self-explanatory, again, inventory UI. This is just all your items in one place, sorted by rarity, of course. Thirdly, what the fuck am I talking about? Thirdly, the shop UI. Now, the shop UI is also pretty self-explanatory. This is where you buy items, cases, and shit like that. You got all the items you could purchase just up on the top. Knives, guns, effects, collectibles, whatever you name it. There's even crafting stations you could buy too, believe it or not. I'll get to that feature in a second, by the way. And next up, what's next in the UI?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Show that UI, bruh. Show that shit.
I low-key forgot what's next in the UI. I have to check. Oh yeah, codes. How the fuck can I forget? Okay, the next UI is codes, also self-explanatory. You input a code, the codes will give you an item. Great. UI after that. Finally, probably the most complicated feature in this entire game. The crafting.
He's making his manifesto, actually.
Really? Does that involve you getting a job?
No. Look at him. You like his outfit?
Peep the shirt. Hold up.
God, dude.
I eat meat.
I got another special guest here. Everyone say hi to Fart. This is my little cat right here. Oh, she doesn't like.
It's autistic.
She doesn't like Cameron. Anyway, crafting stations. The most complicated part of the entire game. Crafting stations. There's 2 forms of progression with the crafting stations. So the first form of progression is prestiging. You get more crafting stations over time by prestiging. These have their own set of crafting recipes. So each way to craft has completely different sets of crafting. But there are 2 stations. There are 2 crafting stations that are actually required for both forms of progression. And I'll explain that in a second. But anyway, first form of progression, just case items, shop items. You buy that shit, and you can craft those. But yeah, the second form of progression. Anyway, the second form of progression involves the planets. So, the planets, I'll also explain in a second, but you could get your own crafting stations from the planets.
Oh, really?
And you could get your own set of items. Now, this combines some shop items and then items you can only get from quests in one. Type shit, give me that shit. And that has its own form of progression as well. A lot more collection and quest based than the normal crafting, so there's a lot more you could do with the planets, and the best part is you don't have to be any prestige to craft these items. So technically,
No prestige.
you could get a celestial without prestiging at all.
Dead ass.
Yeah,
I can get a celestial.
without prestiging at all.
That's insane.
I know, right? That's what I said.
With that, that's a good feature.
I know, that's what I said, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, high five.
Let whoever has the skill get what they can.
Exactly.
Without needing to prestige.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So that's another form of progression. Now there's two stations that are actually required for both forms of progression if you want to get the end game celestials. Anyway, the two stations are the charming station and the planetary fuser. Now the charming station allows you to create special items, specifically rainbow items. There are some items that only give you blueprints of the item when you craft them, but you actually need the charming station to make the full item. And there's also another thing called charms. You need charms in the charming station, and when you combine the blueprint in the charming station with a charm, you create the full item. Very interesting feature. Now the planetary fuser is just fusing items from different planets. So when you fuse like certain collectibles, this is mostly collectibles, by the way. It's the most unique station in the game. The planetary fuser requires collectibles, charms, you name it. Pretty much every single item type in the entire game is required for the planetary fuser. And there's only one item in specific that you need, which is the elemental orb from the planetary fuser in order to craft each endgame celestial. I know that was a lot, but there's more. The planetary fuser requires elixir. 10 elixir with each item that you craft. So every time you craft an item, you need 10 elixir in order to fuse those two items together.
Make them work for it.
Oh yeah, and to get elixir, you just have to get kills. Sheriff kills, murderer kills, you name it. That's how you get elixir. But yeah, 10 elixir, which that might not sound like a lot, but trust me, that adds up over time. It is a very grindy process in order to use the planetary fuser. So, just a word of warning. Now that is it for crafting, and thank God, because crafting is a very, very, very difficult thing to explain. And lastly, in the home or main menu, whatever you call this, is the mastery. Mastery is scaling progression, which gives you permanent buffs depending on your mastery level. So, for example, if you have gems mastery, each mastery level will give you an extra gem, and it goes up to 4 levels with each level. I might actually add a 5th level in the future, though, but it's okay. I'll fix it later. Like the wise man Crafty once said, it's not a bug, it's a feature. Next UI. Whoo, planets. Alongside crafting, this is one of the most complicated features in the game. But anyway, planets. Requires no prestige to use, but each planet, in order to go to their shops, quests, crafting, whatever, you need a object from the other planet. So I'll just explain this in the best way I can. Each planet has an NPC. That NPC gives you quests. It also has a special shop for each planet. Some of them don't have quests though, namely the sun. The sun has no quests that you need to do. The sun is a special, unique planet, which I'll explain in a second. That is different from the other planets. But anyway, so each planet has a shop. In that shop is its unique crafting station, and in order to buy that crafting station, you need that planet's currency. To get that planet's currency, you must complete quests that are given to you on the planet. You can only have one quest active at once, and you have to pick which quest it is. And unlike missions, these quests are not active at all times. You could only, like I said, you can only have one quest active at once, and you have to activate that quest manually. But once that quest is activated, you complete the quest, you get the reward. It actually uses you a collectible item too, which can be used in the planet's crafting. So yeah, Once you get to the planet's currency, you could buy its crafting station. There are also 3 special items that are in each of the planet shops that you can buy. Like, for example, there's Essence, which is actually required for the planetary fuser. But then there's a special effect and a special knife. These are not required for anything. They're just fun to have. But they are a little bit grindy. So that's just a heads up. That is planets. Like I said, though, the sun is a special planet. It's kind of different from the other planets. Instead of being based off of quests, the sun is actually based off a collection system with this kind of solar burst thing that I teased a while back. So every solar burst, you collect these stars, and then you gotta wait 5 minutes for the next one. Then you could use those stars in the shop, but like I said, you cannot access the shop or the quest unless you have the object from the last planet. So how it goes is Afrobite, Forglaive, Montezuma, the sun, and the Void. And the Void doesn't require an item from the sun. It actually requires a universal knife called the Earth, Fire, Wind, and Air, which is very difficult to craft. So yeah,
Challenge.
this is a good challenge. Moving on to the last UI, which is just the event. Now, there's actually going to be an event active most of the time during the game. So there's always going to be something for you to do that's new at all times in the game. So this first event is just the World Between Worlds, and then it will also be active at a different point during the game. Later on, after the summer event, because after the summer event, you won't be able to access the World Between Worlds event. But anyway, let me get started. So how the events will work, and there will be more later on, like leaderboards and special quests. But as it stands right now, shop, crafting, and then a battle pass. So let me start with the battle pass first. So the battle pass is pretty simple to explain. It functions similarly to basically every single battle pass feature in a game. So every time you collect a special currency in rounds, which is called antimatter, abbreviated as AM in the game, every time you collect antimatter, it adds to your total antimatter count. Every time this amount reaches a certain amount, you will be rewarded a special item. There's 8 items that are exclusive to the battle pass. Actually, 10 items, sorry. 10 items that are exclusive to the battle pass. It is 10 unique items, so it is not items taken from the shop or anything. This isn't Crafty Core. 10 unique items. 2 of them require VIP. It will be like that for pretty much every battle pass. But yeah, 2 of them require VIP. But the rest of them you can get for free. It scales up, a couple godlies, a couple reverends, mystics, and then there's 2 universals. Now this one, instead of having a set, just has an effect and a saber for the universal. But if you have VIP, you could get the black hole set. So yeah, there's that. Battle pass is pretty easy to understand since it just works like every other battle pass. Now next up is the shop, which functions exactly like the normal shop, except there's only 3 items. There's 2 cases and then a special item that is used in the crafting. Now the 2 cases, there's a gun case and then a knife case. So yeah, also pretty easy to understand. Now the crafting for the event is kind of difficult. This is the only event I'm ever going to have that has a celestial crafting. So if you want to get that, you got to act fast because I'm not bringing this back ever. Once it's gone, it's going to be gone.
You gotta get it now.
You got to get it now. Like he said,
It's time
you got to
to
get it
lock
now.
in.
It's time to lock in. You got to get it now. So there's a special knife called Ascension, which can be used. There's a celestial gun and knife. And for each one of those crafting recipes, you need the Ascension. And then you need a bunch of items from the cases from the event shop too. And then you also need a bunch of items from the normal shop. It is an extremely difficult crafting recipe. Like, I'm not kidding. It's very difficult. So to anyone who gets that, I applaud you because it is very, very grindy. I wish you luck. And again, if you don't complete it before the summer event starts, don't worry. The event's going to come back after the summer event ends just for a little while, just so people can get the shit again. But yeah, if you don't get it now, don't worry. You'll be good. But yeah, I recommend you start grinding because it is a very difficult knife to get. Next up, I forgot to mention this UI, the news UI. This just lists features. It's basically just a change log. Like, that's all this is. So yeah, that's what the news UI is. So yeah. That's pretty easy to understand. Now let's get to the player list. This is just a list of the players. List of all the players. You can click on their name. Shows their profile, which displays their 3 knives that you have displayed on your profile. You can display 3 knives on your profile, by the way. Later on, this will show achievements and worldwide rank. There will be a worldwide rank based off your total XP, which is basically your level. So your total level, which also includes your prestige, your total level, your total prestige, and it will rank you based off that. So if you have the highest prestige in the game, you'll be ranked number 1 in the world. So yeah, there's that. You could also view the player's inventory, and you could trade with them. Trading works just like any other game, but don't forget there is built-in values in the game, so you'll be able to view values while you're trading. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Anyway, trading is self-explanatory. Works like any other game, except for the fact that you can view values of items while trading. So, yeah, there's that. Now, let me explain rounds. The round system is very easy to understand. Murderer, sheriff, civilian, or innocent, whatever you'd like to call them, plays like any other murder mystery. So, if you've played any other murder mystery, it works just like that. You could collect gems, you could collect antimatter for the event, or whatever event currency is active at that time. Yeah, very easy to understand. There's also special rounds or party rounds, bonus rounds, whatever you want to call them. Those also pop up every few rounds. So let me start off with these game modes. There's a game mode where every player gets a knife, and the last player standing wins. There's another game mode where every player gets a gun, and the last player standing wins. The other game mode, which is a mix of the two, every player gets a knife and gun, and the last one standing wins. Very easy to understand. There's also a Juggernaut game mode, which the Juggernaut will receive a knife, and then all the other players will receive a gun, and you have to take down the Juggernaut.
I have a gun.
But the Juggernaut has very, very high HP, like very high. It will take 4 to 6 shots, maybe even more, to kill. So yeah, those are all the game modes. So yeah, that's about it for MME. That's everything that you need to understand the game and to play it for yourself. Now, I'm going to let my dev team, my 2 devs, and my community manager say their piece of MME. So thank you to Cryptic, thank you to Justin, aka Girld, and thank you to CGK for sending me your voiceovers for this stream or video. Again, wherever you're watching this, very much appreciated. Anyway, I'll just let those play out real quick.
Hey y'all, it's Girld, also known as Justin. I am a co-owner for Squid Productions and Maniac Murderer. I've known Morgan for a good chunk of my life, honestly. It's been a wild ride with him. We've done a lot together. We've done a lot of developing stuff together on Roblox. We've done a lot of things. But I will just say now, this is a big milestone for Maniac Murderer. This update will be amazing for you guys. This update, we put a lot of work into it. Months and months on end, spent countless nights working on this game. And it's just going to be a great update. It's better than 2.0, 1.0, or whatever stuff we've done in the past. It's going to be really good for y'all. And I hope you guys really enjoy it. There's a lot of features coming into this game, and a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff to keep you going in the game, keep you interested in the game. It's not really just about like murder mystery, really. It's more like more like a story game, honestly, more like a quest type game, but it still incorporates that murder mystery type vibe, I would say. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this update, and there will be more to come in the future. See ya.
Hey there, I'm Aiden. I'm community manager at Squid Productions as well as one of the developers. So what I do, I basically advertise the game, I manage social medias, and I oversee all the staff, while also being on the dev team. And I also created the Discord bot, the Void bot, which is a work in progress, multi-purpose bot that users can interact with. And I'm planning to add a lot of things to it, so stay tuned. So to those who are wondering how I met Squid, I met him a few years ago, and we were both testers for MMD, Murder Mystery Duo. We had a great connection, and we share a lot of similarities. we're pretty similar in that sense, and we became good friends. And even today, he's still my best friend. So I'm excited to present you MME. It's been a long journey, and Squid, me, and the dev team have made sure this game is high quality before we release it. I present you the greatest murder mystery you'll ever play, as we're the most unique murder mystery game on Roblox. Have fun playing MME.
Hello, I'm the Cryptic. Squiggle asked me to record this for him, and I said, hell, nah, that sounds dumb as fuck. I will do some stupid AI voice instead. I've known this dumbass for like 2 years or something, and he's the stupidest smart person I know by far. I seem to just be here doing nothing, but I have been randomly improving things in the game behind the scenes where Squid has gotten stuck or needed help. I'm not sure why he wants me to help, but I'm happy to do so. MME has been a fun project to help up on, and I can't wait to see what he does to improve the game next. To anyone who may be new or simply just doesn't know, MME is a murder mystery created to expand and go beyond any expectations anyone has created for any murder mystery before. This game has the most content I have seen for any murder mystery in my long time on the Roblox. I have known the CGK for around 8 years, and we have both agreed to help out on the game as it is pretty cool, and we both seem to like Squid for some reason. But that is all from me.
Hi, my name is Azza, or Azza Quicks in Roblox, and where do I even start? So, I actually made the game with Squid day one, about 5 years ago. I've watched this game literally grow up. I used to work on the game personally, but it's gotten out of my range of capabilities now, and I'm absolutely loving where it's going. This is the biggest community we've ever seen for the game, and like, don't want to sound corny, but it's like raising a child. I'm happy to see this game be where it's at. And you know, I've seen this game through all of its stages of point, like back when it was just a simple stolen just few models that you could just search up, and just like there was not much you could really do. We thought it was something special back then, but if we could show ourselves what it looks like now, like, I wouldn't even believe you what it turned into now. I believe this is genuinely like one of the most sophisticated games probably out there in a long time. It's very original, like, and I wish I could put that into people's heads. Like, I don't know, it's just amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough for sticking around with this community. It's actually amazing, and I love you guys.
Anyway, thank you guys for your recordings. Means a lot to me. Glad you guys could record those for this stream or video, whatever the fuck you're watching. Anyway, now I have some special guests. What the fuck am I talking about? Now I have some special guests who will be talking about MME. Thank you guys as well. Thank you fuckers.
Let me tell you, before I started playing this game, I was married to my wife, you know, the old ball and chain. But our marriage was in so much deep shit, right? Like, she was just saying I wasn't listening, she wasn't getting me beer, whatever, the usual. So we go on Roblox, right? And we see this game, Murder Mystery Maniac, and we play it, right? Play for a little bit. We see all the amazing features and just the detail that went into this game. And I just looked her in the eye right there and said, I love you, Beth, and I don't want a divorce anymore. I still have erectile dysfunction, but it's okay. I'm happy now.
played video game, I was constipated. Now, I poop without any issue whatsoever. My girlfriend left me because I couldn't poop, and now she's back because I can poop, thanks to video game on Roblox.
Up until a few weeks ago, I suffered from a severe case of hemorrhoids, but as soon as I hopped on Manic Murder Elite, it got cured. It saved my life. Like, the doctor said that I wasn't supposed to, last longer than, 2 weeks, but after playing Manic Murder, I feel healthy again, and my hemorrhoids are gone. Thank you! Thank you, Squid Productions!
Hello everyone, my name is Brody Amadeo, and I'm going to be telling you about how MME, or Maniac Murder Elite, saved my life. 4 months ago, I was diagnosed with a very intense form of AIDS, and it was spreading quickly because of my severe addiction to scratching my own balls. When MME came out, I was ecstatic, and I played it 24 hours per day. And since my hands were on my keyboard, right, and the mouse, I was never scratching my balls, which ultimately stopped the spread of the infection. I forgot to mention that when I was diagnosed, they said that they would have to neuter me or cut my testicles off. But MME saved my life as well as my testicles. So thank you to the creators of MME for saving my life.
What's up, MME community? I'm here to talk about how MME kind of changed my life and changed the course of it. So I remember 4 years ago, I was addicted to taking testicular steroids. It just felt so good with that juice pumping inside of me. And then one day, I stumbled across MME. And at first it was like, this is just a new game. It won't be that addictive. But soon it turned into my life. Soon my love for a drug turned into a love for a game. And it really helped me because my balls stopped shriveling up. My sperm count went up, and I just felt better overall. It was really life-changing to me that MME could change someone's life in this way. And it really helped me get past some of those tougher moments in life. Like having to write a report card for a student I don't like, or having to do an essay for college, or I don't really know. It's just one of those things that's wonderful. I'm always going to keep it close to my life.
You know, this game saved my life and my marriage. Get that thing off of me.
Fucking MME, this shit saved my damn life. Before I started developing MME, my life was in a terrible spot. Terrible, awful. The likes of which, if I were to explain, I would be here for the next days, weeks maybe. I had toenail cancer. My girlfriend left me because my toenail cancer, it kept spreading. It spread to my feet, through my legs, eventually my feet, my fell off. And eventually it spread to my balls. And then my balls subsequently fell off, which prompted my girlfriend to leave me. I was so down on myself, I had no idea what to do. And then I started working on Maniac Manslaughter Elite, at which point the unthinkable happened. My feet regrew along with my legs and my balls. And then my girlfriend didn't come back to me. Fuck that bitch. I don't need a bitch, cause I got MME in my life. This game saved my life, saved my future, and most importantly, saved my balls. Thank you to myself for making this game. Anyway, y'all, that is all for this stream or video. Whatever, you get the gist. That's all for this video. Go ahead and play MME right now. It is out as we speak. This was just to give you a rundown of the game. Again, thank you to my dev team, my staff members, community manager. Thank you to all you guys. I really appreciate everything you've done for this game. Seriously means a lot to me. Without you guys, we could not have made this game possible, and it's really great to see the community that we've made over time, and I can't wait to grow that community even more as the months pass, and I can't wait to show you guys everything that I have planned for this game, because trust me, there is way, way more that I have in store for you guys. So stay tuned, because this game's about to get even crazier. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.